I've been busy. I've been really, really busy. I'm coming at you live from an undisclosed location, by the way. That undisclosed location is my third bedroom. So it's not that undisclosed if you know where I'm at in the world. And the niche audience that's listening to this most likely are aware of where I am in the world. Oh, like I said, I have been so fucking busy. Mostly with like work and like volunteer stuff. And I've just had a lot going on, just work wise. Like, dude, this podcast goes out to all the procrastinators. It goes out to the procrastinators who don't want to procrastinate, yet you end up procrastinating anyways because you're a procrastinator. But you have to attack the things that are making you feel bad. So I was feeling bad about not having done a podcast, so I'm attacking that here. It's like in the checklist, in your own personal checklist, you have to check the fucking boxes. Like whatever that is, if you're not going to the gym, just check the box. Go to the gym. You know it's gonna make you feel better. Same with me. I gotta go to the gym. It's gonna make me feel better. I just for some reason just get caught up in like other stuff. And that's my excuse. And I don't, that's not a good excuse, but it is an excuse. I don't like the term that's no excuse. Everything's an excuse. It's just there's good or bad ones. And my excuses are just kind of bad. Good excuses like I've been sick or a family member's in the hospital and my mind's not right, or I'm going through a divorce and my wife's taking the car and half my money or whatever. Like those are good excuses. Well, depending on how hard you fucking work, even those might not be good excuses. So it's all subjective, but I can say for myself, I'm only giving myself bad excuses. For example, I was beefing with my mom for a little bit. I did a whole episode and didn't air it, but I didn't confront her. I didn't feel better about myself until I confronted her. That was on the checklist. It's done. We're cool again. I can get that off my mind. So basically, like that action, I have to replicate that across everything in my life. Having said that, I'm fucking busy as shit. And why have I been busy? Mostly it's work related. I've been busy because I'm trying to do like real good at work. And I've been taking on a lot, especially like especially like extracurricular shit, like volunteer, like trying to do things outside the work center. Because like the way it works for me and maybe some of you out there, but you do your job, okay, that's fine. But you have to do the extra shit like school, like community involvement. You have to show leadership in your community. So I've been trying to take care of those things. So I volunteered to be the president of this private org. Private org meaning private organization. It's called the CENTCOM Families Activities Association. And basically like the big thing every year is we put on a picnic for where I work. We're a private org, not officially related to the military in any way. We're private org. But we support the troops, basically. You can imagine it. And logistically, it's not light. Where I work is like thousands of people. We're trying to make it a family event, which is, adds on a lot more than just employees. We're talking employees and now potentially their families, kids and spouses and husbands and wives and whatever, So like logistically, it's a big lift. It's just a lot of people, man. And so like just trying to get my arms around that has been like such a heavy lift. I know I keep saying that, but goddamn, it's taken up a lot of my mental space. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast is to like exert myself mentally. Like, all right, get on here, talk a little bit, feel good about myself. I got chicken wings in the oven. Life is good. Life will be good. It's good now, but it will be better once I complete the fucking checklist. So anyways, I got to do a picnic for thousands of people. I don't know how many are going to come out. We're expecting like 2,000. So it's a lot of mouths to feed. I got to worry about the budget. I got to worry about how we're going to feed the people, the activities that we're going to have. Logistically, like the parking situation, the facility that we're going to use. Are we going to have it at the beach, in a hangar, in a fucking pavilion? Like, so recently I've been trying to like build up our committee surrounding it. Like, I need somebody that fucking does food and beverage. I need somebody that is in charge of activities, somebody who's in charge of trying to get donations, somebody who's in charge of XYZ. I don't want to keep naming it off, but there's like 20 opportunities to like support this one event that we have every year. And to an extent, I've been feeling like I've bitten off more than I can chew. Now, having said that, I want to have like an impact on my command and my job. Like, I want it to be when I leave that they're like, oh, Michael Diaz, he did something. I just want them to say that. I wasn't just somebody who came and gone and who had no type of footprint. Like, I'm doing shit. And on top of doing this picnic fucking thing that is a huge event, I'm in charge of like this ceremonial team, this military ceremonial team. That's a whole big responsibility too. That's not light. And then I have my regular job on top of that. I supervise at work. Oh man, it's just so many things. So honestly, like I'm trying to bust my ass. I'm trying to get promoted so I can actually like reap some type of pay from like all the shit that I'm doing. And you know, a lot of people are like, we call it like bullet hunting or whatever. You're just like a bullet chaser. The bullet being like the opportunity. So like me doing extracurriculars, each extracurricular is a bullet. So I'm out there trying to scoop up opportunities, and it's not because I'm an ass kisser or anything. I can certainly become that, and I could be if I wanted to, but really it's just trying to leave a footprint on my command. Trying to have a well-rounded career, right? I didn't join the military to not do anything or to be as least impactful as I could. I joined them, make a difference in some way. I joined to be productive. That's like the biggest thing. I really joined the military to be productive. And I'm not being productive if I'm just doing the job, going home, bare minimum, no hobbies, no gym life. Like, fuck bare minimum, you know? Doing the bare minimum is like, excuse me, it's like not a good way to feel good about yourself. So I'm not gonna fucking do the bare minimum. I don't care how stressed the fucking picnic makes me. I'm gonna fucking try a little harder. Like, goddamn, gotta do something. So really, I just wanted to come here and talk about that because I think I've just been putting off the podcast just because like the mental space that I've been in, just feeling busy or just feeling like there's always something you're supposed to be doing, but getting so overwhelmed you don't do anything. Hopefully some of you guys can identify with that. Another thing that I'm trying to do with this podcast is like, I'm trying to represent like the regular person in a way, you know, and that doesn't make me special, but let me tell you a small story. A few months ago, I did a podcast about how I thought I had cancer. And it was really fucking scary and XYZ. It turns out I don't have whatever. If there is a cancer in me, it ain't the one that I thought I had. I thought I had fucking anal cancer or like gastric cancer, fucking throat cancer. Turns out it was far less severe. Anyways, I'm an open book. When I'm at work, I'll just fucking tell people like, dude, I thought I had cancer. I'm just open like that. And then you don't really know what people are going through, because I would just say this shit out loud and then people would pop their fucking head from around the corner and be like, man, one time I peed blood and fucking fainted. Like they open up. Like there's people out there going through shit. So if I can be that mirror for you, to me, that is a job well done. That way you can like see yourself in somebody. Like, man, I'm not the only one who feels like a fucking procrastinator. I'm not the only one with health scares and you don't want to tell anybody. Like, no, tell people, man. If you think it'll feel better, like telling people, and I think most likely you will feel better, like getting it off your chest. Like, just do so. Just fucking do so. Talk to someone. Open up about your procrastination. Look for inspiration in people. You got to find somebody who you can bounce shit off of and like let them inspire you. For me, it's my girlfriend is a big like therapeutic outlet for me because she like listens to me and she's like a statue. Like when I tell her like certain stress things about myself. Coworkers who kind of understand like the specific pressure of like my professional woes. Like, oh, they get me. Like they get how hard it is to get promoted or how painful it can be taking advantage of doing opportunities and putting yourself out there for the potential for failure. Like, dude, like look for somebody who's an inspiration for you. And if not an inspiration, at least an outlet. Look for your outlet. People out there who feel overwhelmed. Because there's been shit going on that I want to talk about. But I'm just like not making the time to add this to my checklist. I haven't made the podcast a high priority, and that's bad on me. But everything in due time, right? I mean, this is called Box of Chocolates for a reason. It was always intended to be a thing for me to use when and where I needed it. Now, whatever, like I'm probably will never be fucking Joe Rogan, unfortunately, or Billy Burr, but I'm doing what I need to do for me. And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good. It makes me feel good to say it out loud. I'm doing what I need to do for me. Which is kind of how I've always lived my life anyways, but now I'm taking on more outside responsibilities. It's still for the benefit of me, but now it's just like I'm not just doing the bare minimum or being super duper selfish and just like I'm not just living in comfort of like my own life. I'm doing shit that makes me uncomfortable. I encourage you to do the same. And I encourage you to have a good balance about doing it though. Like don't overwhelm yourself. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Cause bro, that's annoying. It's annoying. And it makes you pissed off. Like the frustration of just like, fuck, I have so much going on. Like it can just make you mad. You don't want to do that. You need to have your life in order. Whew, this feels good. All right, so I want to talk about I have like just a few topics here, and then I'll probably peace out around 20 minutes or something. I'll give you a 20-minute podcast. A little nice. You know, probably your drive to work is longer than 20 minutes. Like that's light work. Deshaun Watson. Because I'm getting back into sports pretty heavily. I was kind of outside the bubble for a few years, but the NFL I've always paid attention to, but I'm going to get back more into it more aggressively. So Deshaun Watson, if you don't know, he's the guy that was accused by like 20-something women of like sexual misconduct. I don't know the specifics. I don't think anybody knows the specifics except for like the court system, the NFL, obviously Deshaun Watson, the women he may or may not have done sexual misconduct towards. But anyways, apparently criminally this man's not getting in any trouble. I think of all the accusers, like most of them have settled except for like one. So I guess they're settling like out of court. Except for one who, whatever, if he did something to this woman and she wants to fucking fight to get the most out of, the situation. And I don't mean monetarily. I mean like, let's pretend he physically did something to her. And she's like, no, this guy needs to go to jail, or he needs to fucking pay me $10 million. I don't know. I don't know what specifically what this person is looking for, but that's certainly her right to do so. Whatever, I guess civil court will decide what is a reasonable compensation. I'm not sure how all that goes down, but I'm sure it ain't cheap. I'm sure this man's actions have cost him dearly financially, like super fucking dearly. And he's playing. He was suspended by the NFL. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, formerly of the Houston Texans. And he was suspended for 6 games. I think if you're Deshaun Watson, you're probably pretty happy about that. You're probably pretty grateful. Like, oh my God, only 6 games? Like, holy fuck, I got away with murder, right? Like, you're just the fucking happiest dude on planet Earth. So, apparently, well, the NFL is not happy with that. The NFL is not trying to hear that shit. They want to see this man. They want to see this man get a full year. Sorry, I'm trying to flip my phone around. My bad. They want to see this man suffer for like a whole fucking year. So they're appealing the suspension. So I got to be careful here a little, but I think my point of view is somewhat fair. The NFL has followed the process that they, along with the NFL Players Union, have agreed to in their collective bargaining agreement. Now remember, this is like an uninformed opinion podcast. Having said that, some of the things that I'm saying, I'm sure have a good amount of truth to it. So they went to arbitration, the NFL and Deshaun Watson, I guess, and the Players Union, I don't know. And an independent judge, but not acting, just an arbitrator who formerly was a judge, this person, Sue Robinson, formerly Judge Sue Robinson. I don't know. Is it like once a judge, always a judge? I don't know. I don't think she's a judge anymore. But anyways, the person they selected to do the arbitration, who's independent, said based on the history of how you punish people and the items brought before me, my ruling is 6 games. So that's what he got. He got 6 games. And, we're talking about sexual misconduct here, and whatever. I have a sister. I have a mother. I wouldn't want anybody. And if anybody did sexual misconduct towards them, I would certainly want that person to burn in hell forever. Having said that, well, first of all, let's just talk about the NFL is all about money. I don't think I don't think Roger Goodell specifically really gives a fuck about the people that he did stuff to. His job is to protect the NFL, and he can protect the NFL by punishing Deshaun Watson as heavily as he can. So I'm imagining female fans are really, really up in arms, dude, you're sexually, I don't know, sexually assault. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what the thing is, but there's a lot of people upset. I mean, the general public is pretty upset about it, or most don't agree with the 6 games. Most want him to be punished for more, myself included. I guess the but is if it's not a criminal conviction, if we're talking about civil settlements, I don't know, it's all about precedent and shit, right? The NFL has got to decide what they're going to make the precedent. It is an accusation like this. Are accusations and civil settlements, is that enough? I mean, I guess, a lot of people make the argument the NFL is not a corporation, or not. They're not they're a private organization, I guess, and they can handle their employees with how they want, but not really because this collective bargaining agreement. And I don't know how this shit's gonna shake out. I really don't know. I think the NFL. Well, I know the NFL has appealed. I think they've appealed to somebody who's like a former NFL employee, basically. So they're appealing to the home team. So I would imagine at this point of the process, they're gonna win the appeal if they're like, I mean, it's in-house, right? They're appealing to somebody who's like in their pocket. So they're probably gonna get what they want, which is a full year. Which even that for Deshaun Watson, I mean, this guy was a 3-time Pro Bowler. I think he will even take that as long as he gets to play again. And he was so good that I'm pretty sure a team out there will sign him after a year suspension. By that point, I don't know what he looks like skill set wise. I don't know if he's still able to maintain that Pro Bowl form that he had, but I mean, we'll fucking see. He's playing right now. I guess he's going to get to play while the appeal process is taking place. So we'll see. I mean, either way, I'm pretty sure he gets suspended. I don't think there's a situation. I haven't heard that there's a situation where he gets off like scot-free of everything. He's certainly not financially. I know this man's going broke right now, paying off all these people. Brittney Griner is in jail in Russia. Apparently she's looking at like 8 years, 9 years or something in prison for basically like having weed, bringing weed into Russia or something. I guess they're super strict on that stuff and whatever. Now she's going to be in jail for 8-9 years. And I think my first reaction is that's too long. My first reaction when I read Brittney Griner like jailed in Russia, I was like, all right, well, she's not gonna get out. Well, I think initially I did believe she was gonna get out early, but I was just like, jail in Russia, like, shit. For an American, like, probably not too fun. Now she's facing almost a decade. I think, well, I know a decade is too much for like marijuana stuff. A lot of people want her home. You know, like, oh, you know, the United States needs to do the right thing and bring her back and negotiate with Russia. And I'm sure, well, I'm not sure we will, but I'm sure there's some conversations being had at the international level because of the publicity behind the case. Now, I think it's fair to say she fucked up. And I'm not trying to pile on. I'm just having my own individual opinion here in my third bedroom. But she definitely fucked up. I mean, why would you... Like, we should be, like, so harmless, like, anywhere you go. Having said that, you have to live in the reality of the world. And for her, she should have known whether she could or could not do something like that. And it's just crazy that she didn't know. One, you should be damn sure you're traveling. When you're traveling with, I guess I'll say drugs, even, you know, people will be like, it's a plant, man. Okay, dude. All right, fucking plant. When you're traveling with marijuana, you know that shit's not cool worldwide legally. How could you not know? Or take the time to do a little Googling or check with customs and with like the customs agent or whatever in Russia, the Russian customs agent. Like, a little research saves you so much fucking trouble. And people were like, oh my God, we need to get her back. And I talked to somebody like, oh, we got to get her back. That's crazy. You know, how can we not get her back? And I'm just like, okay. One, there's people in this country in jail for marijuana. Probably a lot of them. And I haven't heard you say a goddamn thing about any of them or bring up the marijuana issue. And it's just like, what about the people that are already in jail here? They should be released now. If it's like a non-violent, like if you're, bro, I mean, obviously I don't know the charges, but you try to sell a pound of weed like that, that should not land you years in prison. 100 pounds of weed. I don't know that should allow you like years in prison. I mean, I don't know. It's really, I'm saying like arbitrary like weights and times and everything. But the point is, there's fucking people here that can be out of prison, and they're not. And people are like, well, if it was LeBron James, he'd be home already. I don't think so, man. Like, I think that just drives up the fucking asking price, honestly. Then Russia gets to be like, we have your superstar. Give us the fucking, like, in exchange for LeBron James, we will take 3 arms dealers that you have jailed right now. Like, they're not going to ask for, like, a nobody. At least I don't think so. They're going to want something significant. I'm sure we have one of their people in fucking Guantanamo Bay somewhere. I don't know, man. Anyways, having said all that, I do want Brittney freed. I want her back home. Being prosecuted that heavily for marijuana is fucking stupid. I just think she should have known better. And I don't think she should have known better. I know she should have known better. And she knows that too. I'm sure wherever she is right now, she's like, fuck, I wish I could have done things differently. And she does have my support to get back home. And I'm done with this podcast. This is an audio only episode. I'm not pushing out a video for it. But for those of you listening, I appreciate you. I really do appreciate the time. This is Box of Chocolates. I'm out. Peace.